Indians must prepare for a chaotic Brexit crescendo, not by retreating to barracks, as British troops did during the summer of 1947, but by partitioning themselves from the United Kingdom. There are three crescendo scenarios. Number one, a hard, that is, no-deal Brexit. Number two, a deferred Brexit, with the deferral period uncertain, but probably going to January 31st of 2020. Or number three, Brexit on terms set under an October 17th, 2019 deal by Prime Minister Boris Johnson and the European Union, but not yet approved by Parliament in a withdrawal agreement bill. It's the second and the third scenarios that are foreseeable. Nearly everyone despises the first scenario. Indian businesses need to understand and plan for the Johnson deal. That's the deal that will be operative under the second or third scenarios. The Johnson deal entails a double partition of Britain. Britain from the European Union and Britain from itself, that is England, Scotland, and Wales from Northern Ireland, thanks to a border at the Irish Sea. Indian producer-exporters face a choice between two partitions. They can leave the United Kingdom and relocate to the European Union to service both markets, or they can remain in the United Kingdom and divide their investments and supply chains for both markets. Well, post-Brexit, no longer can Indian producer-exporters gain automatic duty-free entry into the European Union for their merchandise, whether made in India or made in the UK. Rather, every such business must expect different tariffs, different customs checks, and different non-tariff barrier rules for goods destined for England, Scotland, and Wales versus goods destined for Northern Ireland and/or the Republic of Ireland. That means Indian businesses have two partition options. Option one, partition from the United Kingdom. Indian producer-exporters can divest from the United Kingdom, pull up their cross-border supply chains into the UK. They can set up manufacturing operations in one of the remaining 27 EU members, such as the Irish Republic, and they can reorient their supply chains directly to the EU. Option two, partition within the UK. Indian producer-exporters can retain their investments in the UK and their supply chains to the UK. They can partition their UK-based operations into two lines, one for the EU and one for England, Scotland, and Wales, with each line geared to different EU versus UK rules. For three reasons. It's the first option that is optimal, partition from the UK. Number one, the EU is party to 40 free trade agreements covering 70 countries. Once the UK Brexits, the UK will have no free trade agreements, and none are anywhere near on the horizon after Brexit. Repositioning operations in the European Union will position Indian companies to satisfy EU rules of origin and thereby plug into the EU's FTA network. Number two, the 27 EU members post-Brexit constitute a market almost 7 times larger than that of England. The EU is 1/3 the size of India, but the UK is half the size of Maharashtra. Number three, there's no comfort in the UK's commitment in the Johnson deal to a level playing field between the UK's post-Brexit labeling requirements, technical and safety standards, sanitary and phytosanitary measures on the one hand, with EU rules on the other hand. After all, why would the UK Brexit for a trivial level playing field partition? To sum up, Indian businesses need to plan for the irony that Britain had found a role in the world through the EU. But now Britain is destroying that role with the partitions that are Brexit.